Tragedy at Evergreen High. 1 dead, 2 students injured in school shooting. A quiet afternoon at Evergreen High School turned into every parent and student's worst nightmare when gunfire erupted on campus, leaving 2 students wounded and the young suspect dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Authorities confirmed that the teenage shooter, a student at the school, opened fire shortly after 12:20 p.m. on Wednesday. Chaos spread quickly as terrified students ran for safety and law enforcement rushed to the scene. Within minutes, deputies had swarmed the campus, but by then, the damage was already done. A community in shock. All 3 students, including the suspect, were transported to St. Anthony Hospital in Lakewood. One of the injured remains in critical condition while another is recovering from less severe wounds. The suspected shooter, whose identity has not been released, was pronounced dead later that evening. Sheriff Reggie Marinelli called the incident devastating, emphasizing the personal toll. "This was our people. This was our kids." Inside, the chaos students described scenes of panic as alarms sounded and the first shots rang out. 16-year-old Ethan Ramirez recalled hearing gunfire as he tried to escape the cafeteria. "I heard shots right behind me. I ran as fast as I could," he said. Outside, he turned and saw someone, believed to be the shooter, firing in his direction. Ethan and others eventually found shelter inside a stranger's home, where frightened teens huddled in a bathroom until officers arrived. Another resident, retired educator Don Seigan, opened his doors to nearly 20 students fleeing the school. His wife, a retired nurse, comforted and cared for the shaken teenagers while parents rushed to bring them home. At a reunification site set up at Bergen Meadow Elementary, tearful embraces and trembling voices painted a raw picture of a community in shock. Some students sobbed openly, while others clung to friends in silence. Parents whispered reassurances, "You're safe now," even as their own fears were written across their faces. Parents' fear and anger. For many parents, the wait was agonizing. Some described frantically driving up into the foothills, weaving past ambulances in a desperate rush to find their children. Others struggled with the terrifying silence of unanswered phone calls. "I always told my kids, if you ever hear gunfire, get down and play dead," said Tasha Williams, a mother of a freshman. Her voice cracked as she admitted, "I shouldn't have to teach them that. But this is the world we live in." Searching for answers, investigators are now combing through the suspect's locker, car, home, and online activity in hopes of piecing together a motive. At this point, it's unclear whether the shooter specifically targeted the 2 victims or if the violence was more random. Authorities confirmed that both indoor and outdoor areas of the school were hit by gunfire. Officials also noted that no school resource officer was present on campus at the time of the attack, though one is normally assigned. A familiar heartbreak for Colorado, the Evergreen High tragedy is yet another addition to Colorado's painful history of school shootings, following incidents at Columbine, East High, and Hinckley High. For many in the state, the news feels hauntingly familiar. Education leaders voiced their outrage in a joint statement. "No student, no educator, no family should ever have to endure the terror and trauma of gun violence in a place of learning. We are outraged this continues to happen in our schools." Leaders respond. Governor Jared Polis expressed sorrow and solidarity, saying students deserve schools where they can learn without fear. Superintendent Tracy Dorland shared her heartbreak, adding, "No child should ever face this kind of danger, and no community should be asked to absorb this kind of pain." The weight of the day. As the sun set over Evergreen, families left the reunification center carrying both relief and grief. Some were lucky enough to hold their children again, while others faced long nights in hospital waiting rooms. For every parent, every teacher, and every student in this community, the day marked a deep wound, a reminder that even in places that feel safe, tragedy can strike in an instant.
For full video, click related link below or like and subscribe this channel.